My calculations, Paolo di Canio at Swindon has signed 4 Italians, 1 Dutchman, 1 Namibian, 1 Ghanaian and 1 Nigerian. Let's see how his League of Nations is faring against Crewe Alexandra. Kevin Watson.
Yeah, they started very well, Jeff. They high tempo, good start, passing the ball well, but it's the visitors that had the better of it since then after the first 4 or 5 minutes. Best chance was a corner that came in from the right. Big Dave Artell rose, his header was blocked, and Sean Miller somehow managed to scuff his shot from 2 yards straight at Phil Smith. Crewe are on top at the moment, 0-0.
Contrast there, isn't there, of course, with Paolo di Canio taking charge of his new side for the first time. Dario Gradi in charge of Crewe, of course, has been in the management game since 1978, 33 years. What about the clash of the new coach against the old hand, Paolo di Canio against Dario Gradi, Swindon against Crewe. Swindon, of course, are in the middle of this horrendous run. 13 home games without a win. It's a club record. Can they end that run today at the first time of asking? Kevin Watson.
Well, it's still 0-0 at the moment, Jeff, but Crewe have had the best chance of the game so far. It was Aidan Flint comes strolling out with the ball from the back for Swindon. Slipped over, Nick Powell takes the ball off him, runs through, just takes too long to sort his feet out. And by the time he does, Joe De Vera comes across with a good covering tackle. Last couple of minutes, Swindon has started to get back into it. It's still 0-0.
Well, there's been a goal at the county ground. Swindon, Paolo di Canio's debut against Crewe Alexandra. Which way has it gone, Kevin Watson?
Yeah, it's gone to the home team, Jeff, right on the stroke of half-time. It's come from the penalty spot. Rafael De Vita, one of the Italian signings, raced onto a lovely through ball from the middle of the park. Dave Artell, the Crewe centre-half, couldn't stay with him for pace, brings him down. Callum Kennedy steps up and dispatches the penalty, 1-0.
Callum Kennedy with his first senior goal. And yes, Rafael De Vita is one of Paolo di Canio's Italian signings, but he hasn't come from Inter Milan or anywhere like that, but he actually came from Livingston. It doesn't matter, he's created the penalty there, hasn't he? And Swindon have scored by and lead by a goal to none. Paolo di Canio must think this is an easy job with Swindon side, a goal up against Crewe at half-time in his first game. And as you can see, they've just doubled their lead. Kevin Watson.
Yeah, they certainly have, Jeff, and I doubt there'll be a better goal scored anywhere around the country today. It was the captain, Olivier Rees, with a fantastic strike. It was a crossing from the left-hand side from Billy Bowden. Dave Artell could only head it out to the edge of the box. Rees chests it down, and what a dipping volley. Steve Phillips, no chance. 2-0 Swindon. Yeah,
2-0 to Swindon. They're going to end this run by the looks of it of 13 home games without a victory. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? Jonathan Hayes has got that break in a 2-up against Stillhouse viewer. Paul McManus has got that, and Swindon are truly out of sight against Crewe. Kevin Watson.
Yeah, 3-0, in-swinging corner from the right-hand side, Jeff. Great little head-on, and there was Aaron Flint to head in from close range. Steve Phillips could only parry it into the top corner, 3-0.
Great start as far as Paolo di Canio is concerned. 3-0 to the good in his first game in charge, and 3 points about to go on the scoreboard. We're back with more very shortly on this Gillette Soccer Saturday. First win for Paolo di Canio, and that long home run without a victory is over. Swindon have won by 3-0. 13 home games without a win, and there he is on the touchline. Whoa, there he was on the touchline, and there are those Swindon fans in unfamiliar pose. They are celebrating a home win by 3-0. James Hansen's got to go back for Bradford against Aldershot. 2-1 the scoreline there. They're still playing. What a start for Paolo di Canio. Swindon hadn't won in a club record 13 home games. Bring on Crewe, bring on Paolo di Canio's new team, and this is what happened. Right in the dying seconds of the first half, well, a bit of a tumble, shall we say, no more than that inside the box. Referee adjudged it to be a penalty, and Callum Kennedy scored with his left foot. It was his first senior goal, and they were on the way. 2-0, Olivier Rissa eventually finishing this one off. A lovely goal as well, wasn't it? 2-0, exhibition stuff by now. And after 77 minutes, icing on the cake. A close-range goal from Flint, his first senior goal as well. 3-0, and Paolo di Canio, well, he could be well pleased with what he has seen today, and maybe now he will let his players out to enjoy themselves. Will they be in training tomorrow, do you think, as he said they would be? We shall see.
A winning start to life as a League Two manager with Swindon. There were plenty of positives to come out of the game against Crewe. He managed to keep it goalless until just before half-time, when Adam Dugdale fouled Billy Bowden. Penalty given, and Callum Kennedy stepped up to score the first goal of the new era at the county ground. Into the second half, Swindon made the most of space down the left-hand side to cause more problems for Crewe. Failed to deal properly with Michael Timlin's cross, Olivier Rissa turning on the style. 2-0, what a finish. And then one of Di Canio's signings, Rafaela De Vita, sent in this free kick for Adam Flint to make it 3-0.
How will you celebrate this win?
Tonight with Di Canio's Pizza in a restaurant that I all know, because I have also my friends here, my family. They came just yesterday night all together. I'm very happy, but I would like to dedicate that victory, if you give me a chance, first of all, to Andrea Pazzagli, that is a guy that passed away this week. We've been in a course together. He was a fantastic goalkeeper in AC Milan. He passed away this week. Unfortunately, he's only 51. He was my colleagues, obviously. Me and Fabrizio would like to dedicate this victory to him, and to my dad. To my dad, because he's not very well, and I was happy that we can give him a good news, and he can have a smile, have an extra lift for it. And I was very happy today. Obviously, the victory is for everyone. The fans were amazing, the board, the people who work behind, because they work so hard. But for the first time, I want to give, put two persons in front of everybody.
Excitement and interest in equal measure at the county ground to witness Paolo di Canio take his first steps into football management. What they saw was a Swindon performance as sharp as one of his Italian suits, but it took them until the stroke of half-time to break the deadlock. Billy Bodin went in pursuit of Rafael De Vita's through ball, but was dumped to the turf by David Artell. Callum Kennedy swept home from the spot to get the new era off to a positive start. Known for his theatrics and clowning around as a player, Di Canio's warned his team not to try anything similar, but it appears he's allowed certain exceptions. Oliver Rissa's stunning volley is one that the Italian himself would have been proud of. Swindon 2-0 up just past the hour. And a comfortable afternoon's work was rounded off by Aidan Flint, who topped off a fine individual display with the third 13 minutes from the end to give his new boss a memorable debut in the dugout, who, despite banning laughter from the training ground, should be able to smile tonight.
Listen, we're happy that we won, obviously, but now you put yourself in trouble, because everybody now look at you, wait for you. If you are good enough, I'm sure that they're good enough to handle the situation, we will have a business in the future.
Crawley are up there amongst the bookies, thinking alongside the likes of Swindon Town, under the stewardship now, of course, of Paolo Di Canio. 12 players in at the county ground, a Namibian, an Algerian. He's got them all working for him. It could be interesting times at Swindon.
It could. I mean, there are quite a few football league clubs that we've spoken about that have been able to bring in a lot of players, and so far, a lot of those clubs have had good results today. And I think we all thought that Swindon, when you employ someone like that, I think you know that you've got to give them a couple of bob to spend, and they've done that. And so far, so good.
Do you think they can go up with the first attempt?
Look, it's very, very early. I mean, people have got to bed down, and you've got to see if he can do the job or not. Certainly on that performance alone, they'll expect to be there or thereabouts. Yeah.
OK, now, I know the league season is only 90 minutes old, but we're going to show you the league tables nonetheless, because there'll be a few fans out there who want to savour the moment, so to speak. It's a great start for Paolo Di Canio, as we've just mentioned, in management after that home win over Crewe. New boys and pre-season favourites Crawley couldn't quite hold out for that win, and it wasn't a dream start that AFC Wimbledon fans were hoping for. After losing out to Bristol Rovers, Crewe are propping up the rest of the Football League, and they'll be looking, of course, to bounce back as soon as possible.
For Swindon yesterday, Paolo Di Canio taking charge.
Just an incredible story once again, isn't it? Paolo back in League Two. You probably think he wouldn't be at that level, but he's come starting. I think the brief is, if he had to be West Ham manager, he had to get some experience in the first place.
Yeah, but look at the penalty, Cammy, when you see the penalty. Hey, he's got some help from somebody, hasn't he, there, when you look at it.
That was the first goal. That was the pick of the goal we're going for. But of course, the interesting thing, of course, is Paolo's come out and has been all about discipline. He doesn't want his players to be jumping around and making a fuss and screaming and shouting at the referees. Completely opposite to what he used to do. Brendan, which I think you were saying, Cam, you think might be quite
He's
hard.
implementing a lot of rules that he wouldn't have accepted.
Don't do as I do, do as I say.
Yeah. He's actually said that as well. He's come out and said that. That was their first home win in 14 as well. Do you think that there's something to be said for someone like Paolo going down and taking a team like Swindon and sort of offering them a sort of incentive like that?
Well, I think it shows the mark of himself as well. Like, I know he's looking to put the work in. You know, he's not just turning up, you know, looking $1 million. You know, I think he drove up to Crewe and watched Crewe playing. You know what I mean? So he's not just coming down there just to turn up and look good. He's putting the work in, and guys like that. I remember talking to Peter Grant on Paolo di Canio when he was at obviously at Celtic, and Grant, he was saying, well, you know, fantastic professional guys like that. They are so disciplined within how they work and how they operate, and I'm sure he'll take that into his management as well.
I think that's the best way forward for some managers, me. You know, like Martin O'Neill, I never forget, I was at Gainsborough Trinity. He was at Shepshed Charterhouse. And I know it sounds daft, but you do learn problems at that level before you step up. And I think he's doing the right thing, because he's got the name, the reputation, so he will get top jobs offered him if he does the hard work. I think he's putting it in for himself now, because you don't learn this. You learn all the time as a manager, don't you, Brendan? And
absolutely.
You know, and so you have to get the experience, and I think he's doing it the right way, me.
Paolo di Canio's reign at Swindon Town got off to a great start, and with one game played, the Robins sit proudly at the top of League Two. Callum Kennedy scored the first goal of the Di Canio era from the penalty spot, before new captain Oliver Risa announced himself to the county ground faithful with a brilliant second after the break. Aidan Flint completed a perfect day for Swindon's new Italian boss.
Swindon also made it a good day for their new boss. After last year's relegation, the county ground lapped up the 3-0 victory against Crewe. Oliver Risa's screamer, a goal Di Canio himself would be proud of.
How will you celebrate this win?
Tonight with Di Canio's Pizza in a restaurant that I all know, because I have also my friends here, my family. They came just yesterday night all together. I'm very happy, but I would like to dedicate that victory, if you give me a chance, first of all, to Andrea Pazzagli, that is a guy that passed away this week. We've been in a course together. He was a fantastic goalkeeper in AC Milan. He passed away this week. Unfortunately, he's only 51. He was my colleagues, obviously. Me and Fabrizio would like to dedicate this victory to him, and to my dad. To my dad, because he's not very well, and I was happy that we can give him a good news, and he can have a smile, have an extra lift for it. And I was very happy today. Obviously, the victory is for everyone. The fans were amazing, the board, the people work behind, because they work so hard. But for the first time, I want to give, put two persons in front of everybody.